Welcome to the Literary Criticism and Theory lesson on Deconstruction. In this lesson, you will learn about the implication of deconstruction and deconstructing poetry. Roland Barthes, a titan of literary theory, introduces us to a groundbreaking shift from viewing literature as work to understanding it as text. This transformation is pivotal, urging us to re-evaluate our interaction with literature. Traditionally, we've approached books as static entities, objects that exist physically on our shelves. However, Barthes challenges this notion, suggesting that the true essence of literature unfolds in the dynamic, interpretative process between reader and text. This concept is revolutionary, as it moves the focus from the physicality of the book to the intellectual and emotional engagement it provokes within us. Within the vast expanse of post-structuralist thought, Barthes serves as a guiding light, leading us through the intricate dance of text and interpretation. His theory dismantles the conventional barriers between reader and literature, proposing that the act of reading itself breathes life into words. Here, literature is no longer seen as a dormant collection of works but as a living, breathing entity that engages with readers in a dynamic exchange. This engagement is not passive, it demands an active, participatory role from the reader, transforming the act of reading into a collaborative creation of meaning. The distinction Barthes draws between work and text is more than semantic, it represents a fundamental shift in how we perceive literature. Work suggests something finished, a product that, once completed, remains unchanged. Text, however, implies something far more fluid and open-ended. It exists not as an object but as an experience that unfolds within the minds and hearts of readers. This shift is not just about redefining terms, it's about reimagining our relationship with literature. It posits that the true value of a text is not encapsulated in its physical form but in the myriad ways it can be interpreted and reinterpreted over time. The Death of the Author is perhaps one of Barthes' most provocative and influential essays. It serves as a call to liberate texts from the confines of authorial intent. Barthes argues that the meaning of a text does not reside in the author's original purpose but emerges through the reader's engagement with the text. This perspective democratizes interpretation, granting the reader sovereignty over the meaning-making process. It's a radical repositioning that places the reader at the heart of literary criticism, suggesting that every reader's interpretation is valid and valuable. Intertextuality, a key component of post-structuralist theory, illuminates the interconnectedness of texts across time and space. Barthes' concept suggests that no text exists in isolation, each is a node in an intricate network of references, echoes, and influences. This understanding enriches our approach to reading, encouraging us to view texts not as solitary entities but as dialogues within a vast cultural tapestry. Intertextuality challenges us to read between the lines, to uncover the hidden connections and conversations that inform and enrich a text. At its core, deconstructionists choose the idea of fixed, immutable meanings in literature, championing instead a vision of texts as open-ended, subject to a spectrum of interpretations. This philosophy invites us to question our assumptions, to peel back the layers of meaning, and to celebrate the ambiguity and multiplicity inherent in texts. The paradigm shift from author to reader as the primary creator of meaning marks a significant evolution in literary criticism. This reorientation recognizes the active role readers play in interpreting texts, bringing their personal experiences, emotions, and cultural backgrounds to bear on their understanding of literature. It acknowledges that each reading is a unique act of creation, a dialogue between the reader and the text that generates new meanings and insights. This perspective not only democratizes the interpretive process but also celebrates the diversity of interpretations that enrich our collective understanding of literature. The liberation of the text from the constraints of authorial intent and the celebration of the reader's role in creating meaning represent a significant expansion of our literary horizons. This shift invites us to explore the limitless possibilities of interpretation, to find joy and discovery in the act of reading. Positioned at the intersection of multiple perspectives, deconstructive literary theory invites us to embrace the complexity and plurality of texts. It challenges us to engage with literature in a manner that transcends traditional boundaries, to appreciate the rich tapestry of interpretations that each text invites. Deconstruction invites us to consider that texts contain within themselves the seeds of their own analysis and critique. This method focuses on contradictions within the text, exploring how these contradictions might undermine the text's apparent coherence or unity. Through this lens, every reading of a poem reveals not just what is said, but what is unsaid, highlighting the interplay between meaning and form, presence and absence. At the heart of deconstructing poetry is the examination of binary oppositions, pairs of contrasting concepts that many poets use to structure their work. Traditional readings often privilege one term over the other, such as light over dark or permanence over transience. Deconstruction challenges us to reverse these hierarchies, to see the dependent relationship between the two, and to recognize that these binaries are not as stable or as separate as they may seem. In our exploration of William Wordsworth's Afterthought, we find ourselves beside the tranquil river Donne, a symbol of eternity during our fleeting existence. Wordsworth, with his characteristic romantic fervor, invites us to ponder the juxtaposition of nature's enduring beauty against the transient spark of human life. This river, flowing ceaselessly, becomes a metaphor for the immutable forces of nature, contrasting sharply with the ephemeral nature of our own achievements and aspirations. Wordsworth's reflection on the river's permanence serves as a poignant reminder of our search for lasting significance in an ever-changing world. Delving deeper into the poem through a structuralist perspective, we uncover a web of binary oppositions that Wordsworth artfully weaves into the fabric of his verse. These binaries, permanence versus transience, essence versus existence, are not merely poetic devices but are central to understanding the romantic dilemma that Wordsworth grapples with. Through his vivid imagery, we are prompted to question what truly endures. Is it the relentless flow of the Donne, or is it the legacy we leave behind? The poem constructs an argument that elevates the natural world's constancy above the fleeting triumphs of human endeavor, suggesting a hierarchy where nature's eternal beauty overshadows our temporal achievements. However, as we apply a deconstructive lens to Wordsworth's poetic musings, we encounter a profound shift in perspective. The deconstructionist approach compels us to scrutinize the hierarchies Wordsworth establishes, revealing the inherent instability in the binary of permanence versus transience. This analysis does not merely invert these binaries but illuminates the poem's deeper complexities. We come to understand that the river's seeming permanence is but a construct, subject to the interpretations and values of successive generations. Thus, the poem itself, much like the river, is a vessel of change, its meanings evolving with each new reader. This revelation challenges us to reconsider the nature of art and legacy, highlighting the transient beauty in our attempts to capture the eternal. Shifting our focus to John Donne's The Canonization, we find a starkly different yet equally complex exploration of love's power in the face of societal scrutiny. Donne, with his characteristic wit and eloquence, defends the sanctity of love against the backdrop of the materialistic Renaissance world. Through his verse, we are invited into the private world of the lovers, a realm where spiritual connection transcends the clamor of public life. Donne's portrayal of love as a refuge, a sacred space apart from the worldly concerns that dominate public discourse, challenges us to reflect on the value we assign to intimate versus societal achievements. Yet, as we dissect Donne's work through a deconstructive prism, we unveil the illusion of separation between the private sphere of love and the public realm. This approach reveals the fluid boundaries between these worlds, suggesting that the sanctity of love Donne cherishes is not isolated from the societal forces he critiques. The poem, upon closer examination, reveals that the lover's quest for spiritual sanctity is, paradoxically, deeply entangled with the public world they seek to transcend. This interplay between the private and public spheres highlights the complexities of human relationships, challenging the notion of love as an escape from the world, but rather as a part of its intricate tapestry. And that's it for now. We conclude this lesson. For additional information on this lesson, please look at the content below the video in the online course. To get a list of the important questions and their answers for this lesson, please refer to the guidebook by our publications provided to you with this course for free. It shows you a list of all the questions that have the highest chance of coming in your next exams based on research carried out on previous year question papers. All the best, and I'll see you in the next lesson.